What's up everyone? Alex here. We're fast approaching the end of yet another incredible year in video games. I remember thinking last year how we knew about so few games coming out in 2019 and was disappointed that it could potentially be a humdrum year, something to be expected leading up to the release of the next generation of consoles. Fast forward many months later, 2019 proved to be yet another year where a unanimous winner for Game of the Year isn't quite clear. And that's actually a good thing. The last time we had this, we were all debating whether Zelda Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Celeste, Horizon Zero Dawn, or even PUBG were worthy of the title. This year, however, is a bit different than that. While many of the mentioned games had widespread appeal, this year's nominees are more divisive in nature. This is not on purpose, of course, but it goes to show that developers are finally comfortable with taking risks and utilizing the technology they've been working with for the past several years in ways never thought possible. It's because of this that I felt that merely recognizing just one game as my Game of the Year wouldn't do justice to the other great games that I played, and felt that it's more important to highlight all of them than try to rank each of them. My list is based on how much I enjoyed the games, how much they stayed with me even after putting the controller down, and how new and innovative the experiences felt to me. As you might have surmised, my picks for Games of the Year are based on my personal experiences and opinions. That said, I'd love to hear what your criteria is for your Games of the Year, and what those games would be. Post your thoughts in the comments below. With that out of the way, let's take a look at my 2019 Games of the Year. Before 2019, I'd never heard of the Science Adventure series, but thanks to the encouragement of a friend, I can finally say that I've experienced a fantastic distillation of what the entire franchise is all about with Steins Gate Elite. The emotional journey that protagonist Hyo and Kyoma experienced left an indelible mark in my memory of 2019's games, and the emotional last hours of the game are some of the most powerful moments in storytelling that I've played in a year. With Steins Gate Zero recently released on the Switch, and Robotics Notes Elite confirmed for next year, Science Adventure joins the many series I'll be keeping an eye out for in the years to come. Music games are a dime a dozen, and so many developers have made so many games using various gimmicks that I caught myself in a position of pessimism when I looked at the entire genre. So imagine my surprise when I found myself really digging the musical stylings and evocative visuals of Sayonara Wild Hearts, a game that told an engaging story, enraptured me with its catchy beats, and gameplay transitions that challenged my brain to adapt to different genres, ensuring that I kept repeating the same level over and over just to aim for the best score. I appreciate games that have a clear artistic vision that highlights the strength of its development, and Sayonara Wild Hearts shows that ambition off and provides a little something for every kind of gamer. As mentioned in my review, the Atelier games never felt like they belonged to a series that was targeted towards me. But in an age when it's easy to disparage people for different opinions and cut down folks who are just trying to be a better version of themselves, Atelier Rises stands tall as a shining beacon amidst the noise. And wouldn't you know it? Atelier Rises' coming-of-age story is as relatable as any others out there, but with that crafting twist that's made even easier thanks to its more visual representation. With more Atelier games coming in 2020, I have a feeling you'll be seeing a lot more of these games on the channel. While the release of Dragon Quest XI on the Switch was something many players look forward to, there was only one Dragon Quest game that I truly wanted in 2019. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I spent many hours making the perfect settlements in the original Dragon Quest Builders, and the enhancements made for its sequel ensured that my imagination would be rekindled once more. With NPCs now able to help you with your construction, more materials and gimmicks that expand your options in the sandbox, and a story that sets it apart from any Minecraft-like game before it, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is an action RPG whose radical ideas I can truly get behind. Now, how about we get a fully co-op campaign for Part 3, Square Enix? Kamurocho is a place that I will always enjoy coming back to, and with the investigative stylings of Judgement being the latest in a long line of games set in the city, I couldn't have asked for something better. It has great characters like Yagami, who just oozes a ton of personality, and his sidekick Kaito, whose back-and-forth banter with Yagami is always enjoyable. This, combined with a gruesome murder mystery and a ridiculous and entertaining side cases that pepper the city, make it really difficult not to like what Judgement has to offer. The best part for me is that Judgement allows players to play with either English or Japanese voice acting, and corresponding English subtitles for each, along with subtitles for French, Italian, German, and Spanish. This effectively increases the amount of people who are able to play the game. Now, even more people can discover and explore the seedy streets of Kamurocho. I'll admit, dear viewer, that I've yet to finish my Leon Scenario B playthrough of Resident Evil 2 Remake. But man oh man, was the game everything I wanted. The marriage of the over-the-shoulder gameplay of Resident Evil 4, mixed with a fully explorable Raccoon City Police Department, capped off with zombies that can chase you all over the place, is a showcase of the development team's fandom of the series. I love it in the same way I love the original Resident Evil remake. It toys with your knowledge and familiarity of the original game, only to use it against you at every opportunity. With so many new mechanics and gimmicks that allows its developers to create new experiences, Resident Evil 2 Remake manages to still stay true to its source material in all the best ways. I don't generally play MMOs for their story, but Final Fantasy XIV is the exception. With Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV puts its best foot forward, demonstrating its ability to weave masterful storytelling and powerful character development, and encouraging many new players to come and experience the game themselves. Of all its expansions, Shadowbringers establishes the tone of its story quickly, and the various changes it's made with the game's combat, public events, and the new mechanics they've introduced in each dungeon really set it apart from anything the team has done before. I've said this plenty of times, and I'll continue to do so for a long time. Final Fantasy XIV is the best Final Fantasy in recent memory, and Shadowbringers is yet another reason why you should give it a shot. Fire Emblem Three Houses is not a game that I finished this year, but I will say that ever since I got the game upon release, it's never left my mind. And if you've been a long-time subscriber to the channel, you know why this is a big deal. I absolutely dislike tactical RPGs. And yet, for some reason, Fire Emblem Three Houses manages to bring me back in, engaging with its many characters and getting immediately immersed with my job as professor. I've said time and time again that it only takes that one game to make gamers into fans of a genre, and Fire Emblem Three Houses did that for me for tactical RPGs. Now, I know that heartbreak will soon be upon me, and the once peaceful life I live alongside my students will be torn asunder. But rest assured that I am determined to see it through, perhaps 2, 3, or 4 more times. That's how much of a big deal Fire Emblem Three Houses is to me. I'll readily admit that I was a late Danganronpa fan. I didn't have the same affection for the series as most others, and found myself gravitating towards the Zero Escape series more. So imagine my surprise that instead of putting a game from the creator of Zero Escape in my top 10 list, I found myself putting a game from the former Danganronpa team here instead. And what's more, it's a dungeon crawler RPG with survival mechanics, an unlikely combination that actually works harmoniously. And to top it off, its insane storyline and wonderful cast of characters really immerse you in the world that they've created. Maybe the reason why I still think fondly of Sankey Zero Last Beginning is because I'm still emotionally, and perhaps mentally scarred by the things it showed me. But the camaraderie between its cast is so infectious that it makes me feel gung-ho about wanting to explore the various dungeons it has, despite the mental anguish. Even now, I'm still thinking about going back to Sankey Zero to see what I missed. Let's get one thing out of the way. I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan. That should say plenty about how I view his games, but my admiration and appreciation of Death Stranding goes well beyond a blind adoration of its director, or even the simple appreciation of Kojima's trademark insane storylines. Instead, Death Stranding manages to take the things I love about another genre, city builders, and makes it so that the things that I create are made available for others to use. I could make an entire video about how this aspect of the game is something that I absolutely enjoy. But all in all, I love how the game creates a sense of altruism in the most unexpected ways. I've spent many hours in the game building zip lines, propping ladders, and placing ropes in helpful places, hoping that even one of the game's players would use them and find the tools that I've laid down helpful. And while the act of helping others in Death Stranding also means you're helping yourself, I am playing the game to help other people. Being able to help complete strangers accomplish a goal that we all share is probably the most satisfying gameplay experience I've had this year. And all of this is wrapped in a crazy storyline with a cast of actors that can only be described as quintessentially Kojima. Congratulations to my picks for Games of the Year for 2019. In the coming days, I'll also be posting my picks for Games of the Decade, as well as the results from the community votes for Games of the Year and Games of the Decade. So hit that subscribe button so you won't miss these videos and many more. It really was an incredible year for video games, with a larger than usual number of Game of the Year worthy titles. So I want to hear what you have on your list of Games of the Year. Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching and have a great gaming week.